Alright, so this is the second and probably the last bonus thing that I'm going to be recording for Hitman Hardcore Silent Assassin Suit Only, which is the targets ranked. So this is going to work basically the same as the mission tier list, where I'm just going to go through every single target. I'm going to try to keep things brief because, well, otherwise I'm going to be here for a while because it's 82 targets off the top of my head. So yeah, we're just going to be trying to breeze through this a bit. I'm going to go in order by how the targets are ordered like this. So the rows will not be in order. So which means that I'm going to consider everything in horrible the exact same difficulty. Everything in very hard is this exact same difficulty because there's just too many to worry about in actual order here. And lastly, this is just my opinion and the routes that I used in the Hardcore Silent Assassin Suit Only run. So we're just going to start with Calvin Ritter. He's doable. You have to trigger a fire alarm, which does contain a bit of RNG, but I do not warrant that enough for him to go into RNG dependent / inconsistent, because the way he goes in there is consistent. Then you just need to watch the guards. Making him very doable, you just do need to peekaboo a few mechanics, but that's about it. Jasper Knight also isn't doable, because he... you do need to peekaboo one person, I believe. The other one you can just subdue. And you need to make sure you don't get spotted by a person patrolling up on the roof. But that's about it. There's not too much difficulty there. Victor Novikov goes in hard because you have to clear the Palace Gardens, in which he is going to go after... he talks to Valerie St. Clair. And it's decently easy to get seen while he's in the Palace Gardens. Because there is a guy smoking and there's a technician who can periodically see something and then he comes to check it out. It doesn't ruin your Silent Assassin immediately, but there's a chance of getting spotted. Dahlia Margolis is gonna go in doable again because she's not horribly difficult. You need to peekaboo 2 guards if I'm not mistaken, but because they're decently far away, the chance of getting spotted is not very likely, making her a very doable target. Same for Silvio Caruso. I was thinking about Francesca DeSantis. Silvio, it's decently easy. Sneaking into the mansion isn't really much trouble, even in this challenge. And then just inserting a VHS tape. You just need to be mindful of a few guards. Wouldn't warrant him being an easy because there is a few parts where you can get spotted, but it's not difficult by any means. Francesca DeSantis goes in hard with Victor because she has... a lot of guards you need to take care of, and there's a decent chance of getting spotted. As a matter of fact, in my final run, you see me almost getting spotted by the guard I have to knock out on the terrace, and you have to be decently quick with grabbing one of her personal guards, otherwise someone in the room next to the terrace will hear. So there is a few parts where you can get spotted, but it's still not very difficult. The virus goes in easy. The first target in easy, because the virus is... getting into the biolab isn't... You get the keycard and the kill code, and then it's just knock out 4 people. Like, it's not much more difficult than sneaking into the... It's not much more difficult than sneaking into the mansion. The only thing you have to pay attention to is the 2 guards up top, because they sometimes face one another and can get you spotted. I'm so sorry, that was my phone. But that's why they're an easy. He's not an effortless, but it's still a very easy target. Reza Zaydan is up next, and I'm just trying to find him. I have made this list. Beforehand again. Okay, Reza Zaydan is also an easy, which is surprising because he's supposed to be very secure in a school. But after you get rid of the 2 soldiers in the front, which really has no chance of getting you spotted, then grabbing the key, which sometimes can get you spotted, but also isn't terribly difficult. You just go into the school, knock out the guards. There's not too much you need to keep track of. And then you just kill him by turning on the intercom. There's just a few times you have to pay attention, but it's not horribly difficult by any means. Klaus Strandberg joins Francesca and Victor in hard, because it's mostly because of the garage. The garage has a lot of random head turning, causing a few problems where sneaking through, and there's one guard who can periodically spot you. As a matter of fact, in the final run, you can see me nearly getting spotted there. Jordan Cross goes in doable. The biggest problem is placing the cake topper. Getting it is really, really easy. If you spawn in your own suite, you can just go in, grab it, and run out. Then going to the party isn't really that difficult. Just need to be careful of one camera, that's it. And just make sure you're behind the 2 patrolling guards on top of the roof. And then it's just place it when they're facing away. I wouldn't warrant him as being easy, but he is very doable. Ken Morgan is in RNG dependent. Those of you that have watched the tier list, and as a matter of fact, just the run, know that this one definitely belongs in here, just because of the fact that he is the camera guarding the letter tray. That's it. And there's also a few things that can go wrong at the laundry room, but that's not the point. He's very inconsistent solely because of the camera guarding the letter tray. Then we have Sean Rose, and for a Colorado target, he goes in easy. Because you can just peekaboo him. It is still a Colorado level, which means you can get spotted anywhere, which is why I put him in easy. As a matter of fact, I got spotted by Sean in my final run, and I'm surprised that he didn't alert any other guard. But it's fine. Then Penelope Graves is the first one to go in very hard. She has a lot of things after getting out of Ezra's shack, where you make a huge loop around the compound, which gets you nearly spotted 3 times along the way. Then you have to have 4 people's cycles align, which is just nuts. If you disturb one of them, it no longer works. And yeah, it's just a lot of effort to kill her. The other 2 targets for Colorado, both Ezra Berg and Maya Parvati, go in easy. Maya Parvati is the same as Sean Rose because you just peekaboo her into the side shed, which gets her killed. And Ezra Berg is a bit more. You need to do a bit more, but it's still not difficult because you just knock out 2 guards. The biggest problem is getting to the shack, but if you just make one big loop around the compound, there's really no chance of getting spotted. Soders is the second of the 3 targets in RNG dependent / inconsistent, and this one is because of its RNG dependency of the guards in the morgue storage. That's really it. If the guards had a consistent path, he'd be an easy, definitely. Yuki Yamazaki is the first one I'm going to put in effortless, because if you take her into the sauna, there's really nothing that can go wrong. Because from Soders, you can just move up. There's basically just one person standing in the way, and he moves out the way by himself. So there's really nothing you need to do. Increase the temperature, and then just hold the door shut. The same goes for Alma Reynard. Whenever you hack the laptop, she then has her path downstairs, but you can hide in the closet before anyone notices you upstairs, and then you just smother her in her sleep. The most difficult thing is getting rid of the guards at the boat, but because you're so far away, there's really no chance of getting spotted there. Robert and Sierra Knox, I have to classify them together because they're both they're both killed the same way, and they are both in doable. They could probably be an easy, at least Robert Knox could definitely be an easy, because I just made things way more complicated by wanting to push Robert onto Sierra's car. But it's still not difficult. You're too far away for you to get spotted by the guards whenever you're peekabooing them. So it's just really, really easy. Rico Delgado is gonna go in hard. Not in very hard, but in hard. I still have the cold from the other tier list video, so I'm so sorry for you that are watching this. Thank you for watching it, but I'm so sorry. But Rico Delgado, obviously the mansion area is a problem. You have 3 guards of cycles that need to line up, and then you need to hope that Hector moves in to the bathroom, and then you need to hope that the maid doesn't come to check it out. It makes it a bit iffy, but it's still not warranty of a very hard, because it goes right most of the time if you've practiced it, but it's still very difficult. Same goes for Jorge Franco. Getting into the wheat plant isn't necessarily the problem, but getting just making sure you don't get spotted while actually performing the final kill. That's the most important thing, because I feel like that cargo loading lady definitely spots you through the wall sometimes. And then still, you need to go through the mansion to get there, which is just bad. Then Andrea Martinez, have debated putting her in effortless, but she's going to go in easy because you do still need to take care of a few people. And you can get spotted from time to time because you're not terribly far away from her. And when you do get spotted, or even if Martinez is outside on the balcony and then she spots you, her assistant will come to check it out, which means you'll get found. That's why she's in here. Vanya Shah's in hard. Vanya Shah is in hard purely because you need to climb over the banisters, which the guards can spot you over decently easy. But if you keep track of them, it can go well. It doesn't warrant a very hard, but it's hard enough to get her into hard instead of doable. Dawood Rangan, doable because Dawood Rangan has a lot of things that go for him. They're not necessarily strictly timed though. There are a few places where you can get spotted, such as the painter spotting you when you're putting the paint in the box. I don't even know what the box is called. Don't even know whether it has a specific word for it. But it's not difficult. And then the part where I got spotted on the most is disabling the security cameras. I don't know whether I even do that in my final run. I believe I do. But yeah, when you disable the cameras, there's just a chance that the guard spots you while you peekaboo him. That's it. The Maelstrom, he warrants a hard as well. He is the biggest part of this is getting rid of the two thugs that are at the flag, because the guy sitting, you don't want to distract him because you're going to get spotted, but the guy standing, you need to footstep lure him, which is very difficult because you can get spotted very easily because the guy just instantly turns around. And if he instantly turns around, there's a very decent chance you're going to get spotted. And then if you don't subdue him at the right angle, the other thug will hear and you'll lose your silent assassin rating. Now we're going to go on to Janus, and Janus is another easy one. There are a few parts where you can't get spotted or recorded by a camera, and definitely if you climb up the pipe too early, whatever he's called, the sheriff will see you. So we're going to put him in easy instead of effortless, because you do need to still think about some of your actions while you're taking care of him. Nolan Cassidy is going to go in doable because Nolan Cassidy has a lot more people you have to knock out. You have to watch a few cameras, and there are a few times where you can get spotted, but he's still not difficult by any means. The Whittleton Creek clues are going to go in easy along with Janus because you just grab them on the way. The only thing you have to get out of the way to do is the microfilm, which still isn't really hard to do if you just watch the two guards out front. I always get these two girls mixed up. I believe this is Zoe Washington, and she's going to go in very hard because she has only one spot where I've been able to grab her, and it's at the wake. And the only way to get her alone in the wake is by clearing the entire area of guards, which can get you spotted at any time by a guard in a watchtower, which luckily didn't happen, even though I didn't pay much attention to him in my final run. But it can get you spotted from time to time, and just clearing the entire wake area is a pain. Sophia Washington, let me just see. She is in doable. Because she, unlike her sister, you just need to climb up and peekaboo her. That's it. You're still in the Arc Society, which means you're trespassing a lot of the time. And there are a few cameras where you can get spotted by, and while making your way up there, is a chance that some of the people go investigate your location, which means that she is doable. It's definitely not hard, but it's definitely doable. Athena Savalas, along with the bank data, are both going to go in easy. Because Athena Savalas is on your route to grab the bank data, I decided to group these two together because they're not that difficult of targets. Athena Savalas is in her office, which you clear the way to her office while getting the first data disk from Mateo Perez. And then the only complication is Fabian Mann, where you can sometimes get spotted in the room with like the whole lot of bankers. But that's about it. It's really not difficult, but it's not effortless. So we're going to put it in easy. Tyson Williams warrants a very hard because of the inconsistency of Haven Island. Not only the inconsistency of Haven Island's walls, but also because of the fact that you need to beat him to the doctor's appointment. If the doctor makes it there before you, you can reset. Because the doctor is my only way I have been able to single out Tyson Williams like this. And if you don't beat him there, you're going to need to either improvise so that you get there in time, or just reset your run. And I luckily could improvise until I finally got the run. Then for Stephen Bradley, we have doable because Stephen Bradley, getting onto his island is the most difficult thing. Then not getting punch glitch when you're trying to get rid of the other people is another thing. And just making sure the bodies are hidden far enough into the grass as this, so Stephen and his guard won't spot them. That's about it. He's not easy, but he's doable. Ludmila Vetrova, I debated putting her in effortless, but I'm going to put easy because she is a target that you can get rid of just passively by just grabbing Jason Portman. You have to be a bit careful with Jason Portman because his peekaboo mechanics are a bit iffy because you're just on the edge of a trespassing area. But if you get the hang of it, Ludmila Vetrova is very, very easy. The same for both Carl Ingram and Marcus Stuyvesant. Because they're both, you kill them both together, there's no risk, there's no reason why I shouldn't group these two together. Stay hydrated, everyone. But yeah, it's just an entire story mission that Lucas Gray teaches to everyone who's ever played this map. So yeah, it's really not difficult, even suit only, without items. Alexa Carlisle is in doable. And because Alexa Carlisle is in there, I'm also going to grab the Casefall on the constant. Because these two, once again, go hand in hand in the same location, there's no reason why I shouldn't be grouping them together. Because Alexa Carlisle is isolated in a room full of guards, there's a lot of peekabooing you need to do, but there's not a lot that can go wrong. The only thing that happened in my playthrough is that she eventually just did a turnaround and I had to improvise a bit, but she's still not difficult. Now I'm going to need to name these agents off the top of my head. So we're going to start with Agent Green. Agent Green is in easy. Agent Green, you just toss him off the roof. You do need to footstep lure one person, but he's sitting down, which means he won't instantly turn around. From time to time he will, but he's not supposed to. So we're going to start with Agent Green. Once you've done Agent Green, you go to Agent Davenport, off the top of my head. Anyway, these two guys go in effortless. Because that's Davenport, that's Thames or Tremaine? I believe it's Tremaine. We're just going to call you Tremaine, that's Davenport. Davenport and Tremaine are very, very easy. Because Davenport and Tremaine are just, well, you just kick a bag of bricks onto them. There's no real effort here anyway. Then we're going to have Thames. I believe he's Thames. Okay, we're going to call this guy Tremaine from now on. Agent Tremaine is in easy again. Because you do have to peekaboo a biker and sometimes you can get spotted going over there. He's very barely in easy. He definitely could have made his way into effortless. And then for the last guy in easy, it's Agent Rhodes. Not necessarily the last guy, but the last ICA agent in easy, it's Agent Rhodes. Because Agent Rhodes is another person where you have to peekaboo, and because there are guards bringing in guns, there is a few times where you can get spotted, but if you're careful, he's not that difficult. As a matter of fact, I'd consider him easy. Then, Hush is hard. The only reason why he's hard is because sometimes the scientist in the break room, when you subdue him, the other guard will hear, getting you spotted. And if you toss him off the roof the wrong way, which I did in my final run, it can get the body found, and then people will go into a panic and get the guards. Luckily, it didn't matter, but in my test runs, it definitely mattered at some points. Luckily, in my final run, it didn't though. Imogen Royce is undoable. Getting into the ICA facility is very, very easy. It's just the timing is a bit tight on crawling through the vents. That's it. Killing her actually isn't that difficult. It was mostly figuring her out that was difficult. Now I have Don Yates. Let me just look where I put him. Right after Imogen Royce in doable. Don Yates isn't difficult. You just need to sneak into the mansion, where there are a few times where people are they get distracted by seeing you, but it's not horrible. What is horrible is Tamara Vidal. I said is Tamara Vidal. Because Tamara Vidal, she is maybe the worst target in the entire Hitman franchise, because there is literally only one place where she's out of the public view, and she only goes there once every 15 minutes or so. Which means that when she gets in there, you better take care of one of her guards or Tamara, because if you don't, you're screwed. You're going to need to wait a lot. Then we have Arthur Edwards in Very Hard. I don't really need to say anything else about this. Getting to the constant is very, very difficult because you need to get rid of so many people. There are so many places that can get you spawned along the way, and you get only one save file. Along with the fact that the people at the desks at the very end of the train very often turn around instantly as opposed to getting up and turning around when you footstep lure them. It just makes this a very difficult mission because you also only get one save. It's the second to last professional mission. So this one is very, very difficult. Then we have Null Crest. Null Crest goes in easy, I believe. And the reason for that is that Null Crest, you just get him into the meeting room. You do need to peekaboo one guard and trigger the meeting lights, which doesn't warrant an effortless because you do need to put in a little bit of effort. But because there's very little that can go wrong, I put him in easy. Same with Akka. The only thing you really need to be careful of is the two engineers and a forger that guard the window where you climb in. But after you've done that, there's really not much more to it. She's in a room alone with her and her guard, which means they're not safe. And you can even disable the cameras on your way. What I'm going to put in doable for this mission is the satellite, though. The reason why I put that in doable is because there are a few things that can go wrong. There are a few guards watching the console, and there are a few parts where you can get punch glitch. So I'm just going to put this in doable because I feel like that's fair. Honestly, that's the only reason I need to give you. Blair Reddington is also in doable. You do need to use a little bit of AI trickery, which was difficult to figure out because his guards don't react to anything. But once you figure that out, you can exploit that by just grabbing one of the guards while the other one is standing right in front of him and he won't hear. Which means that Blair Reddington himself is a decently easy target. I wouldn't say very easy because there are a few parts where you have to hide a body very close to the edge of Blair's line of sight, but it's still very doable. Putting the last target in very hard, it's the Black Book. Because you need to clear that entire clearing in front of the shaman's hut of guards. And there are just a lot of line of sights that extend your way if you're not careful. You can get spotted if you grab someone. And then once you actually clear the clearing, it's nice to get rid of the guy in the shaman's hut that is not sleeping. But he has the chance to spot you from time to time as well. So it's just a lot to deal with. Putting our next one in effortless, it's Basil Carnaby. Basil Carnaby is in here because, well, he's Basil Carnaby. You say, I'll be the volunteer, you follow him, and he's alone with him and just a guard, which, you know, is not safe. You're not even going through a trespassing area at that point. Which means he warrants a very easy effortless, because you can also do an accident kill, which means his body doesn't even get discovered. AJ is in doable, which means, oh no, not a second line just yet. But AJ, there are just a few things you can... There is a chance you oversee the guards at the other side of the parking lot, which can get you spotted. There's a patrolling salesman who can sometimes spot you. And you do need to do a lot of peekabooing and I believe even a footstep lure. But it's not difficult by any means. Going back to easy again, now adding a second row, it's Galen Vols. Galen Vols is in a very secure house with the basement door unlocked for some reason. Has a home security system but leaves the basement door unlocked. That makes him dumb. It's one of the dumbest targets in the game, but I'm not going to complain. You can disable the security system, peekaboo him, not much that can go wrong really. Putting some more guys into effortless, we have Oybek Nabazov and Sterial Duz. These guys are in effortless because you really only need to keep track of one thing, and it's when the waiter at the book stand is facing the front. Because it's not a professional, or because it's not a master, he won't even hear your footsteps. So you can just run past as soon as he faces forward. Then you just need to make sure you knock out the one guy and hide his body, and then you just pour the vodka into the thing. Peekaboo, Sterial Duz, you're far away, so you're not really going to get spotted. So I'm going to put these two guys in effortless, but they're very much on the border between effortless and easy. Then we have Craig Black. Craig Black, I believe, if I'm going to watch. Okay, Craig Black, and Brother Akram are going to be in hard. The reason for that is because Craig Black and Brother Akram, you need to do every single preparation that you have within 10 minutes. If you don't, you can reset. Then if you're not careful with your peekabooing, there's the patrolling guards that are going to come to pick up the guns. They can spot you. If Craig Black sees you during the meeting, well, you can just... There's a lot of things that can cause you to reset. I wouldn't warrant them being very hard, but they're definitely hard. Effortless, I would say, is the virus sample, because it's just going immediately after Brother Akram and Craig Black are killed, which I could group it with these two guys, but because I feel like it's a separate object, and honestly, there's not much effort into it after you've eliminated these two. Then a lot of people immediately in Effortless, which I haven't added the files for. Give me 1 second. I have been dumb. So now I have the files. A lot of people in Effortless, it's the people for the vector. The reason why these people are on Effortless is because even though there's a hint of RNG to it, there's not really a lot to do. You just need to pay attention whether anyone is actually watching them, and even when you need to improvise, in my case with the Demolitionist, it just kept my silent assassin. So the chance of something going wrong is very, very small. The last person, I believe... No, it's not the last person. My order on that tier list is very, very weird. On this tier list that I'm creating for you guys, my non-pre-made picture, Owen Cage is also going to go in Effortless. The reason for that is because you walk in, grab the biosuit guy, punch him in the face, you get the virus. But the virus is not a target on this list. In hindsight, I probably should have added it, but I don't have the file for it, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Owen Cage, very, very easy. Just run in and get the virus. That's it. There's really, really not much to do. Klaus Liebleed, on the other hand, is going to go in easy. Not in Effortless, but in easy, because there are a few things that can go wrong. He can see you dragging the other hazmat suit guy into the other room so you can get in. But that's about it. If you just pay attention, nothing can go wrong, really. Adding a second line to Doable, it's it's Dino Bosco. Can you shut up, phone? No one cares about you. Okay, Dino Bosco. Grabbing the key really can't go wrong as long as you just pay attention to where the camera is facing, and then going into the shop. There are a few people who can spot you if you're not careful, but it's very, very doable if you just pay attention. Sometimes the half see-through windows can throw you off. That's about it. Marco Abbiati is going to be in easy. Really not much that can go wrong. The only thing that really can go wrong is if you don't stall the bodyguard enough. But if you just really, really extremely delay him, there's not much that can go wrong. Kong 12 Kwang is going to be undoable. There are a few things that have to go right, including the fact that you have to peekaboo two people who are decently close to you, which means that there is a decent chance of getting spotted, but he's not hard by any means. Matthew Mendola is going to go in hard purely because you need to time the fact where when you turn off the power outlet. Sorry for my stammering there. You need to turn off the power outlet. If anyone else gets an exclamation point above their head, you're screwed. He will not get you your silent assassin back. Much like the virus associated with Brother Akram and Craig Black, the building documents are going to go in Effortless, because once you get Matthew Mendola, you can just grab the documents. Really not much to it. Scott Sarno is in easy. The reason why he is in easy is because he has you just need to subdue one guard, push him out, subdue another, that's it. If you start in the attic, not a challenge at all. Then, I don't know whether you can hear the rain, but there's a bit of a, not necessarily a storm, but there's a lot of rain going on outside. I am so sorry. I'm trying to round this off as soon as possible as well. I am so sorry if you hear the rain. Then we have Gary Lunn, humorously misspelled as Gary Lunn in the Hitman mission. Get into the biolab. This time you don't get the biolab key card from the morgue, but you get it from a scientist, which does sometimes get you spotted if you're not careful enough, but he's still very much undoable, borderlining easy. Walter Menard, I'm also going to put him in doable. The only reason why this mission is in... I'll put my phone on silent the next time I'll record. Walter Menard, the only reason why this mission is higher in my mission difficulty tier list is because the extracting is not free at all. But if you just look at killing the target himself, the peekaboos don't really have any risks. Yeah, that's about all there is to it. You already know where John Stubbs is going to go. He's going to go in horrible, because John Stubbs is my worst nightmare. Always in the public eye. Once you finally get rid of everyone in the terrace, he moves to an upstairs bar where, as far as I have seen, he doesn't move away. Absolutely horrible target. Patrick Morgan. Inconsistent. Not RNG dependent, inconsistent, because he has a different reaction whenever you play the mission. Sometimes he moves to your position earlier, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes the militia comes back earlier, sometimes it doesn't. Which means it's not really replicable, and you just need to hope also at the end that his body doesn't get found. Taheji Koyama, effortless. Once he does his story, he'll just follow you around. Not much to it. I decided to drown him. Thunder. That's nice. Anyway, Taheji Koyama, effortless. He'll just follow you around. I chose to drown him, which added a bit of difficulty, but just in general, effortless. The Sigma operations files, horrible. Not horrible because it wasn't fun to get him, but horrible because I just know that it's a crap load of difficult stuff. So I'm going to put it up here because you do have to really leave a trail of bodies. And even then, there is random head turning which can get you spotted. I'm going to group these last three together. So it's Harry, Marv, and Dmitry Fedorov. They're all going to go in effortless. In Holiday Hoarders, you just straight up run to them and grab them, only paying attention to 2 guards and a technician, which sometimes turns around. And for Dmitry Fedorov, you get rid of the guard, or you just watch a gardener, then you grab the guard and toss him off the balcony. So that's it. That's it. I hope this video isn't too long. I have the tier list on my other screen, so I'm going to look at it right now. It's significantly shorter than my other, because I kind of made haste with every single one of them, because I didn't want to spend like another hour on really going into detail about how I got rid of Tamara Vidal, you know? So, I'm glad this one isn't nearly as long as the other. And then, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed everything about the Hitman Hardcore Silent Assassin Suit Only, because I will not be doing it again for obvious reasons. This challenge took a few months to make, and it took a lot of effort, and I'm glad that it's finally over. I hope you enjoyed these 2 bonus tier lists, and I hope to see you in the next challenge. Anyway, with that said, I love you all, and farewell. Farewell. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.